Hello YouTube, it is the 18th of January and this is my very second video on this channel. I noticed that my last one didn't come out so great. Had a lot to do with lighting, I think. Also had a lot to do that I was using Windows Movie Editor rather than some other video editing software that probably would have done it a lot better, because it compressed the video file pretty bad and I really didn't have very good quality. So I'm hoping to look into some other alternatives. You'll have to excuse the yelling downstairs. It is football night and they're having a blast. Not into sports, never have been. So you might hear some screaming every once in a while. So I kind of sat here and was trying to think of what I really wanted to talk about in my second video, and I figured I'd probably start with something simple. And I don't know about any of you guys out there, but I am a pretty big fan of reading, and wow, that was cheesy, but I believe my first novel I ever read, or young adult book, was The Phantom Tollbooth back in 6th grade. And I don't know, I seem to recall back then that I sort of really started to enjoy books more than I did when I was younger. So I figured that I would start talking about some of the books that I have recently got into and have thoroughly read. Because, see, I'm the type of reader that when I pick up a book, there's about a 50% chance that I'm actually going to go through the whole thing. And normally I'm pretty good with it. Normally it really depends. If it really catches my interest, I can go straight through. I know I was definitely that way with the Harry Potter series. I think that was the case for everyone who read those books, though. Recently, well, not recently, but what I've really got into is the A Song of Ice and Fire series. And I think most of you will probably know that as Game of Thrones on HBO, which is another great show that I enjoy. I might actually talk about that in another video, because there are some things that I really love about the show, and there are other things that I really don't really like, especially when it comes to how they've changed from the books. But recently, I got into a book series called The Lies of Locke Lamora, and that was after I read through the entire Song of Ice and Fire series. And I found the book because George R.R. Martin actually recommended it, and I don't know, I think there was an article online, and it was showing just a bunch of books that he was suggesting. So I picked it up, and I remember being a little overwhelmed by the way the author Scott Lynch wrote his book. He sort of likes to describe a lot, and very fluently. Absolutely great author. I think I judged it a little too harshly when I started reading, or not harshly, but I was taken aback. I had never read like a novel a lot like that, well, except for the Game of Thrones. But when I got into that book, I went straight through it. Completely went straight through it. I believe he has three out now. Yes, because I read his third one, Republic of Thieves. The books follow 2 characters, which is nice compared to Game of Thrones, which follows a large group, and that is actually one of the things that a friend and I have specifically have talked about not really liking in George R. R. Martin's latest books, because he likes to seem to add characters that are less less prominent, characters that we're not that, well, at least opinion wise, him and I aren't really interested in reading about. But Scott Lynch and The Lies of Locke Lamora is a book I suggest any fantasy reader check out, because I mean, one thing I will say is I have never picked up a book, and this is only really if you have like a really crass sense of humor, and I do, I'll admit it. But this book I've never had a book that has actually made me laugh out loud. And a lot of the crazy stuff they say in The Lies of Locke Lamora, really vulgar, very vulgar sort of things, but it just sort of amuses me. I will say that the first book was probably my favorite, simply because of the setting, and the second, the theme was better because it had a lot to do with pirates, and the third was a little weird. I enjoyed it though. It was just a little strange, and I'm not gonna say any spoilers, or I'm not gonna give anything away. So I'm just sort of just giving my general opinionated overview of the 3 books. But I think Scott Lynch does a great job as an author, and really that was the idea for this video, is just talk about some of the books that I have recently read. The one that I'm looking into next is actually a book called S, and it has something to do with J.J. Abrams. I think he helped come up with the story. I'm not too certain, but basically it's a mystery book, and my friend introduced it to me, and when I looked at I think there was a thing on Amazon that I was checking out, and there was video of what the book entailed, and it's really cool. It's got like as you read, it's got margin notes from I believe 2 characters that are studying the works of the author that has written the book, and like in between the pages there are notes, like there are articles, there are maps. There's a lot of really cool information just sort of in between the pages that you can read, and you can try and come up and figure out the mystery yourself. And I really am looking forward to reading that one once I sort of get over my reluctance, or rather I should say procrastination. Just like I said, it's sort of my problem when it comes to books. I can never go straight into another book after reading a big one. But I'm really hoping to get into that. And I guess that's all I really had for you guys today. Like I said, I'm just sort of throwing things out there. Hopefully, I'll become a little more comfortable with this. I like to think I have a good enough tone. It's just I thought it's a lot harder than I thought, just talking to a camera and not talking to a person. But I think that's all I have to say for today. So have a good one.